Hi, Management 4300. This is Steve Wagner, your professor, and this video provides an overview of the syllabus and the schedule for this class. The syllabus and schedule are very important documents. You should be reading them thoroughly this week to get yourself oriented to the class, and also going through the orientation material and the material in Module 1. It starts out with some contact information for you. You've got my email there. That's probably one of the primary ways to communicate with me. I do have my office location there, G275, but I'm teaching all online classes this semester, so my office hours will be held online in Blackboard Collaborate, which is a video teleconferencing software included with Blackboard. And you can see that those office hours are from 5 to 7 on Tuesdays and Thursdays. You can access those office hours by going to the instructor link in the main menu of our Blackboard class and looking for the link to office hours. As we go down through the first page of the syllabus, you'll see some important things. Of course, the course description is important, and also very important is the textbook. This textbook by Holly, Ross, and Walters, the 11th edition of the labor relations process, is the textbook we'll be using. You do need to purchase this textbook and use it. We'll be using case studies extensively, and so you can't just substitute a different textbook. You have to use this particular textbook. It is available at the bookstore, and you should also be able to purchase it on Amazon. Now, this is an online class. It is a fully asynchronous class. That means that we're not meeting in person, and we aren't meeting for a class on video teleconferencing either. I will be giving lectures through videos, and there'll be discussion boards where we'll be interacting. You can talk to me in real time during office hours or make an appointment. So using Blackboard as a website is very important, and so we have information here at the bottom of page 1 and beginning on page 2 on how you access Blackboard. And there's some other notes here that are important, so please read through this carefully. One I want to highlight is that you really need to use your GSU email. I'll be sending out announcements and other communications, and they're going to go to your GSU email. And if you don't pay attention to that, you may miss out on things. When you respond to emails from me, it'll go to my GSU email, and I will always try to respond within 24 hours. There are other ways to communicate. There is a course questions discussion board, and you can ask questions there. I'll be subscribing to that to know when you do and try and respond to that quickly. Also, there is Blackboard Collaborate, as I mentioned, which is video teleconferencing, and that's where I'll have my office hours. And if you'd like to set up an appointment to go over class material, I can also meet you there. Now, at the bottom of page 2, we've got the course learning objectives. And you will see that I refer to these throughout the class as CLOs, course learning objectives. These are the goals we have for what you should be learning from this class. And I won't go over each one, but I want you to realize that this class is designed with these learning objectives in mind. And at the beginning of each module of class, you'll see module learning objectives called MLOs. And that's what we want you to learn in each particular module of the class, and those correspond with these course learning objectives. And for every activity, every assignment, I will have a notation that identifies why that activity or assignment is relevant to the learning objectives. And I will identify the particular learning objectives so you understand the reason why you're doing an activity or the reason that you're doing some assignments. As we go down in page 3, you'll see that there are many different activities. Of course, there'll be lecture, but those will be in video form. We'll have discussion boards. We'll have case study analyses. We'll have you look at different websites. The evaluation section describes the assignments that you will be graded on in this class. And there are a total of 1,000 course points in the entire class. There will be 10 open book quizzes across the different modules. Each of those are worth 20 points each. There will be 14 case study discussions. Each of those are 25 points each. There will be 2 exams, one around the midterm and another during the last week of class. Finally, there will be a contract negotiation project where individually you will be given a lot of material in a more extended case and asked to develop a specific plan for negotiation. When you are graded on these assignments, I will be posting grades within a week of the deadline for each of the assignments. In many cases, there will be a rubric and written feedback that accompany the grade that you get. So please look at that feedback and use it to continually improve how you approach the assignments. The grade system is described on page 3, and it is the fairly standard plus-minus system that we now have at Governor State University. For each grade level, it identifies the total number of course points you need to achieve to attain that grade. Your grades will be posted up in Blackboard in the grades section, and so make sure that you're looking for those so you understand how you're progressing in class. If at any time you don't understand the feedback that I've given or you have some question about it, please contact me. As we go down at the bottom of page 3 and on to page 4, we've got more descriptions of each of these assignments. And I won't go into detail here, but I'd like to point out that there are these rubrics that I have posted for many of these assignments. And it's important that you look at these rubrics and understand them before you submit your assignments so that you know what I'm grading on. They're meant to create clear expectations. Also, these rubrics will be used in the grading process and you will receive feedback on them. So if you are missing points, you can identify where you are missing them. While each rubric is a little bit different, there are some common elements. One that I'd like you to pay attention to is this criteria here of using the assigned readings. So when you are writing in a discussion board or in an exam or in other types of assignments like that, I'm wanting you to use the assigned readings. I want you to use the theories, the practices, the concepts, the research that are in the assigned readings, and you should cite the page numbers as ways of identifying that you're actually using that assigned reading and applying it to the assignments. Okay, so as we go down through page 4 and down into page 5, and even onto page 6, you will see there's further descriptions for each of those assignments and corresponding rubrics. As we get down to the bottom of page 6, you'll see that there's information about technology support. So if you have a technical issue, you can contact the help desk, and I've got information here about how to do that. Now, this is an online class, and we're going to be interacting mostly through the Blackboard site, and so it's important that we communicate in an appropriate way, and that's what Netiquette is all about. And so I'd like you to review these rules of thumb for Netiquette and use them throughout the class. There is also information in the syllabus about different policies. So I do have a policy here on missed exams and late work. You should have a valid excuse for when you are late submitting work. And a valid excuse is a personal medical emergency or a family medical emergency. with supporting documentation. Another excuse might be a death in the family. If you do have a major illness or some extended leave, I will be asking that you use the Dean of the Students Faculty Notification Service, and I've got that information and the link to it here in the syllabus. If you happen to forget about an assignment or just get really busy and can't quite get it in, you do have the option of submitting work up to 3 days after the deadline. Now, there will be a late penalty of 10% for each day past that due date, and that starts immediately after that due date. And work will not be accepted more than 3 days after the due date without a valid excuse with accompanying documentation. I've also got other information on policies like the incomplete policy, and this corresponds with GSU's policy. I also have other information like on disability. If you have a disability for which you need an accommodation, you should be contacting the Access Services for Students with Disabilities office. I've got information about their website and their email and their phone number. You will meet with them and they will determine what kind of accommodation you need, and then they'll communicate with me and I'll provide that accommodation. Another policy you should be aware of is the Title IX, and so if there is any kind of discrimination or harassment that you experience at GSU, you should know that there is a Title IX officer who will help you to address this issue. And I've got the phone number and the email to the Title IX coordinator here. Of course, you should be ethical and honest in submitting all of your work. And you should know that I'm using the plagiarism software that's available through Blackboard. If I do find that work has been plagiarized, I will assign a 0 to that particular assignment and give you feedback on it. If there is repeated instances of plagiarism, I may have you go to talk to the Dean of Students about it. Other policies you should be familiar with is COVID-19 policy. Of course, COVID is still an ongoing issue, and so that is something that may change over time. So you should, as things change, look at the GSU website about how this policy may shift over time. There's also information about the counseling center. If you're feeling stressed out and need some support, it's a great place that's a resource for you where you don't have to suffer in silence. There is help available to you. As we go down to the bottom of the syllabus, you'll see a course outline. And this is a general overview of the course. But really, if you want to know specifically about deadlines, you should look at the course schedule. And here we've got the course schedule also available in Blackboard. And this goes module through module and tells you specifically what you should be doing and when it should be done by. And this corresponds with the activities and assignments in each of the modules. You should use this as a checklist to see that you're accomplishing each one of the activities. If you do have any questions about the syllabus or the schedule, please don't hesitate to contact me. This is an online class, and I rely on you to take some initiative in contacting me when you have questions and concerns. And my students are my top priority, and I will make sure that I am responsive and get back to you in a timely manner. So I look forward to working with you this semester, and I hope to talk with you soon. Bye now.